What's up, guys? Welcome back to Quack. Today, Blueberry and I are going to be talking to you about the Blue Swedish duck and everything you need to know about the breed. Let's get started. Alright, so let's start with their history. Blue Swedish ducks were developed as early as 1835 in Pomerania, which is now modern-day Germany, Holland, and Belgium. They were first imported into North America in 1884 and then admitted into the Standard of Perfection in 1904. They do have mallard ancestry and they can fly, they just don't very often. They are also on the watch list. There are fewer than 2,500 in the United States and fewer than 5,000 in the world. So they are technically an endangered species of duck, which I think is really interesting because it seems like you see Blue Swedish all over the place, but apparently technically they're endangered, so that's kind of an interesting fact that even I didn't know. Alright, so now let's talk about their behavior. Blue Swedish ducks are considered to be great pets because of their calm disposition. They're also reasonably active and a very hardy breed, so they are good with harsh climates, and they are good for homesteads, and they're good backyard ducks all around. They're very hardy, especially against diseases as well. And they're considered good beginner ducks. So if you are new to ducks and you're looking for a breed that's going to be reasonably easy to manage, you should probably look at Blue Swedish ducks. They're a great beginner breed for you. Alright, so we're going to talk about the living requirements for these ducks. These are pretty much the same living requirements that most all ducks have. So they do need shelter from wind and rain. They don't love thunderstorms. They do love the rain though. They need easy access to food and water and fencing to keep them protected from predators. Alright, let's start talking about the physical attributes. So Blue Swedish ducks are considered to be a medium-sized breed. Their body type is close to that of a Peking duck, although they are a little bit smaller. The males weigh between 6.6 and 8.8 pounds, and the females weigh between 5.5 and 7.7 pounds. They have an oval head and a medium-length straight bill, and they are slate gray to blue with a white bib. Blueberry is very interesting because she doesn't really, you can't really see, she doesn't really have the bib. She's more just speckled around the neck area with white, and then the top of her head kind of has some white speckles too. So she doesn't really meet the standard for, like if you were going to put him in a show, she definitely doesn't meet the standard for that. We'll talk a little bit about that later. So they're considered it's considered a fault in exhibition if the bib extends around the neck. So like I said, Blueberry's little white fluff definitely goes all the way around her neck and does not go up under her chin, so she does not meet the standard. Males' heads are darker than the rest of their bodies, so they're gonna kind of look like any other male breed where the head looks a little bit distinctive from the rest of the body. And they have air sacs in their body to help them with buoyancy when they're swimming. Alright, so Blue Swedish are going to give you between 100 and 180 eggs per year. Most eggs are white, but sometimes they can be blue, green, or gray. The interesting thing is Blue Swedish come in different colors, and so Blue Swedish can hatch about 50% Blue Swedish, 25% Black Swedish, and then 25% Silver Splash Swedish, which is really interesting. Because it means that the Black Swedish breed is not in itself a distinctive breed. It is a direct descendant of the Blue Swedish, and it's a byproduct of breeding. So a Silver Swedish and a Blue Swedish will only produce Blue Swedish. However, two Black Swedish ducks will only produce Black Swedish. So I think that's pretty interesting. All right, so let's switch back to the exhibition for a little bit here. So I'm in a Facebook group called Raising Ducks, and there's a lot of people who have a lot of helpful tips, and there was this one person who was talking about exhibition birds because he specializes in breeding them. And I thought it was really interesting because he showed pictures of them, and they are so very different looking than the ducks that you will usually see in your backyard. Their carriage, their whole undercarriage is much lower. They're definitely a lot more plump. However, apparently they're not fed anymore. They're just bred to be really plump. And I actually went to a poultry show this past weekend to see if they would have any ducks so that I could see it firsthand, and they definitely did. They had a pair of Rowans and a pair of Pekins, and oh my gosh, they are so big. They're ginormous. They're so heavy, and honestly, they looked a little bit miserable just because they're having to carry all that weight around, but thankfully, I think those ducks are processed pretty quickly, which sounds cruel to say, but if you really think about it, those ducks would definitely be suffering more if you left them alive and kept them as pets than if you were to process them, because that's also what meat birds probably look like. They're probably very heavy to optimize the amount of meat that they can give. So it was really cool to see them in person at a show. But back to my original point, I just want to talk about the bib on the Blue Swedish and the coloring. So I had another Blue Swedish named Goose, and he has a very long white bib, and I sent this guy a picture and I said, is Goose at the standard, and he actually said no because his bib goes up too far. Apparently it needs to start around the chest, around like the top of the neck, and then extend down into the chest, but not too far. And I guess Goose's extends up too far and maybe down a little too far. I always thought Goose was a really pretty bird, but apparently he's not good enough to meet the standard of showing, so I thought that was kind of interesting. All right, so that is the blue Swedish duck. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I hope it was incredibly helpful for you. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.